We're back in the car again, my friends, because it's warm out there. So still in 1 Corinthians 13, we're going through this slow because of the wonderfulness of this chapter and to kind of grasp more the meaning, because immature readers flip through this and some of them just think that this has to do with romantic love. But the older and wiser you get, especially in your walk with Christ, you start to understand what this means. Though, as it says later in this chapter, you won't fully understand until you're face to face, which means you can see clearly in the presence of God in heaven. So we were at where love bears all things, regardless of what comes, believes all things, looking for the best in each one, hopes all things, remaining steadfast during difficult times, endures all things without weakening. So love bears all things regardless of what comes. There are so many situations where people give up too quickly. I'm not talking about people in what is classified as abusive relationships. I am not saying that if you are being verbally assaulted constantly, mentally assaulted constantly, gaslighted, or physically abused, that you should stay and endure that. There are some people who teach that you should. I don't think God wants you to do that. It doesn't necessarily mean immediately divorce someone or whatever. I'm not saying that. That's a different rabbit trail. What I'm talking about is you don't have to stay present for it. If you're in that kind of situation with a spouse, a loved one, family member, co-worker, whatever, remove yourself from the situation for your own good. You could still love them. You could still love them. It's not like you have to set out to destroy them or something. That would be wrong. That would be the opposite of love, which we had in the last video. You can love them from a distance. You won't have to be ugly about them. You don't have to react to what they're doing. You're still bearing love for them, regardless of what they're doing to you, but you just remove yourself from that situation. Okay, love believes all things, looking for the best in each one, is in the brackets. You believe for the best in each one, no matter what. You know, you try to find the best in them and focus on that. Don't dwell on their shortcomings. As I said previously, you don't have to endure abuse. That's not what this is telling you to do. Now, someone will say, well, what about the persecution that comes with loving Jesus? That's different, because we're in the world, and the world is ruled. God is sovereign, but the world is not our official home. We're here just for a whisper of time and a puff of smoke of time in this time, space based world we're in. Heaven is forever. Love hopes all things, remaining steadfast during difficult times. That means you don't throw in the towel and give up every time something with someone, other loved ones, be it church, a church family, a real physical family, a job, anything. You remain steadfast during the difficult times. I'm not saying don't quit your job if it's a miserable place to work, find something else. But your love for other people keeps you in the game, so to speak, when times are difficult. It's like the divorce rate is so high because people see an easy way out because they don't want to endure. Not talking about abuse, like I said. I'm talking about just because you're tired or you're bored with your spouse. People get tired and bored with each other all the time. That doesn't mean we have to be, let's just go find a new one. Okay, endures all things without weakening. That kind of sums that whole little bit up. You endure whatever comes at you in life but you keep loving. You keep behaving in a loving way. Even if you are going through whatever it could be. And that could be an illness for yourself, an illness for someone else. And, you know, caregivers. Okay, being the person that ill is difficult enough. And it's hard to remain loving and happy and positive acting when you are ill. There's been a few times in my life where I had surgical complications that led to a lot of bed rest, and I was not the picture of enduring all things lovingly. Now, part of it was because of what had happened, and you know, that affects a lot of blood loss, affects one's behavior for a while, and the scariness of all the things involved with the surgical complications. But you know, the more seasoned you get, maybe the more it is easier to act loving, or act is the wrong word. It sounds like you're faking it. Be loving. See, you know, it's a hard thing to do. Now, the caregiver endures a lot, and they have to remain loving, and they get tired, frustrated, aggravated. A caregiver for an ill loved one that endures all things and treats them lovingly. I mean, they may get frustrated and go take a stick and beat on a tree or something, you know, but it's normal to be frustrated. You know, we're human. But treating that person with kindness, with love, with care, with compassion, that's part of enduring all things. Sometimes I see married couples do this, friends, or just people reaching out to others via a church group, even if that person is not a member of their church. That's important. Now, we have to tend to our church members, of course. But those people that aren't really a member of a church, that may not have anyone, they need someone to love on them. So think about that. Do you have anyone that you know of that maybe could use a little love and kindness? I'm not saying go over there and preach at them, but they'll see Jesus in you through your outreach of love to them. Bearing all things, believes all things, endures all things. All right, y'all. Got places to be. Hope you like my shirt. You can't see it, but this shirt says, I identify as a computer. A C. Okay. O-N. Peer. A-C. You don't want to get, you know, flagged for that word. Theorist. I like the colors of the shirt. You can't really see it good, but it's all tie-dyed and cool. And it says my pronouns are told you so. I thought it was cute. And yes, I'm wearing it to work. But I'm a colorful person, and I'm not boring, totally. I am boring. I have a boring life, but at least I try to make my attire less boring. Y'all have a great day.